Good morning. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We trust that you are well this glorious morning. It's been chilly here in Florida. Um, Here on Thursday morning, the temperature, pre-dawn, the temperature went down to into the lower 40s. And I know, but for us, it's pretty chilly. It's like saying when the temperature gets up to -5 degrees in the Antarctic, it's a heat wave. Yeah, most of us would be like popsicles at -5 degrees. But it's just relative. It's what you're used to, and we're not used to this, not at all. Hopefully, temperatures will soar up into the 60s on Thursday, and we'll have some nice weather. The sun's going to be out apparently, and we'll have some nice weather here. All right. The fourth RNC debate held on the 6th, held on Wednesday night. I'm going to tell you there is so much who gives a damn about this surrounding these debates. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Just like the CFP, this is such just a TV event. Doesn't have many bases in reality at all, or what could actually happen. Um, I'm not trying to create any air of inevitability about former President Trump winning a nomination because no one's voted yet. No one's going to vote until the Iowa caucuses mid-January. And then what we'll know is what happened at the Iowa caucus. And that's all we're going to know. So to keep writing this narrative based on poll numbers now, or even based on the first Iowa caucus. Now, Iowa has somebody find out how many electoral votes Iowa has. Let's see here. How many electoral votes has Iowa? Iowa. Oh, weird. All right. They don't have many. So it isn't like Iowa is going to be one of those states that makes the difference. They have 6 electoral votes, not a tiny amount, but nothing like Florida or Texas or California. California still has 55. Texas has 38. Florida now has 29. New York has 29. Illinois has 20. Pennsylvania has 20. Iowa has 6. So it isn't like, okay, whoever wins the Iowa caucuses is just shooting right through. That's just not the case. We'll have to see as the primaries start to build and people either get momentum or lose momentum. But what happened last night is apparently everybody hates Nikki. Well, at least Chris Christie and Vivek Ramaswamy hate Nikki, and there were only 4 people at this debate. It was Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and President to get from here to God's ear, Ron DeSantis. So that's all that's left, and that is all that's left. So what will start happening is, of course, it is time for whoever is surging. And right now, there is a small, infinitesimal surge in the poll for Nikki Haley. So the attention of the other 3 turned to that because that's how these things work. It's stupid, it's moronic, it's insipid, it's sophomoric, but that's how these things work. Who's ever surging or in the front will get the abuse instead of doing what I think Ron DeSantis did, just say what you're going to do. Just say what you're going to do. State your record if you have a record. Vivek Ramaswamy does not have a record. Um, and do what you do. Say who you are. Say what you stand for. That's really what people want, or that's what people need too. I'll say it that way. That's what people need. No one really gained anything tonight. So when you say, "Well, who was the winner?" Was there? There is no winner because none of these things. No one's going to go back and say, "Well, this person said this. Let's fact check it. Let's see how well it hit." So there's never a winner. These things and never a loser, really. Um, some people are worried about Nikki Haley and her comments about transgenderism and you know affirmative, gender affirmation care for kids. It's a bit muddy. Yeah, that's my co-host Cece Bell Tobins. It's at least a bit muddy, and I think that she can't afford that right now with the culture being the way it is. You have to be straight up black and white and out about everything. You can't. And I think Nikki Haley sometimes, because she's a politician, is trying to play both sides against the middle. Now, I'm not jumping on Nikki Haley. Um, One of my very good friends says that, as far as resume goes, more like the college football playoffs. Anyway, as far as resume goes, her resume is pretty good. Governor of a state, you know me. I like governors. Governors have kind of already done it. So if if I was saying who had to go next, Vivek Ramaswamy is definitely out for me because not a governor. Um, I'm for changing the Constitution that says only governors can do it. Yeah, yeah. Not. Then you don't have to be twice elected governor, but you have to be a governor to do it because they've got more experience in the whole bicameral thing, and they have actually won the election of an entire state before, as opposed to somebody who shows up in the last minute without any real governing experience and not really knowing where the bodies are buried and want to be in charge. That's why I tell you. That's why the Green Party will always fail. Um, but Nikki Haley has a problem. I think she's still trying to play both sides against the middle on the transgender on the transgender front. Um, and yeah, see, my co-host CC Bell Tobin thinks the same thing. So when that happens, I think that's going to hurt her eventually. And I said this a few weeks ago when Tim Scott got out. The next person to get out will be Nikki Haley, uh, and then Chris Christie. So eventually, it's going to be Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, and Donald Trump. Now, at that point, I don't know how Donald Trump doesn't show up at one of these last debates. He's gotten away with, well, the whole thing is corrupt. Even the RNC is corrupt. So why participate? He's gotten away with that, but I don't know how much longer he's going to get away with that. I just don't know. I know there's a lot of poll action, not like stripper poll, but poll action for Donald Trump right now. Now, I don't know how long that keeps up. Now, I know that his most loyal base, anytime they get next to a poll, they're going to say Trump. They're going to say Trump for two reasons. Either they believe that Trump is the person who ought to be the Republican nominee, or they know it pisses everybody else off. And maybe even a little above. Okay. So that's what we got going here. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see, won't we? We'll all see it together. Like I keep telling you, everybody keep your powder dry. Do not tear down relationships or partnerships you've had with people to do work in your community over this. It's going to work itself. It's going to work itself out. Do the thing that you know is the right thing to do, right? That's the deal. Speaking of the right thing to do, the the pause in hostilities has come to an end, and partially because of what we talked about, I believe, in our last program about Hamas not releasing some women, right? Right. Uh, so during this time of decreased hostilities, uh, the Israelis have found something I think is fairly clever about all those tunnels. That entire thing of tunnels is amazing in its engineering and the like. So what they're going to do, what the Israelis are going to do, they're going to start flooding these Hamas tunnels with seawater. That's what they're going to do. They have already gone into these areas and told citizens and told all these folks to get out. They've been dropping flyers on areas for weeks. I'm taking my vitamin C. That they need to get out. Rocket attacks and the like. But Hamas moves all sorts of nasty stuff in these tunnels. So they're flooding them out. Israel has resumed its military operations in Gaza after Hamas violated the terms of the brief but tenuous ceasefire that was heavily based on the release of the 200 or so Israelis who were kidnapped on October 7th. Scores were released by the terrorists, but they continue to attack Israeli forces. Rocket attacks also continued, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government somewhat tolerated the violations in the ceasefire to ensure as many Israelis held in captivity could be released. Israel would in turn release some 150 Palestinians imprisoned on terror charges. We knew this deal would break down, and it did on December 1st. Now the IDF is back up mopping up terrorist holdouts and mulling over what to do about the intricate terror tunnels that are spread throughout the Strip. Multiple entry points have been discovered, and Israel knows that some of these tunnels are hundreds of feet below the surface. Hence, why Hamas is using the fuel stores to power generators that feed their terrorist forces hiding below with oxygen. Israel has the manpower and the technology to wipe out everyone, but it'll take time. However, the latter predicament is one the Israeli society is willing to tolerate to ensure the safety of their country. Israel has already said it will remain in Gaza or in the Strip long after the war with Hamas is over. Still, what to do about terrorists hiding in tunnels remains an issue. Dogs have found and neutralized some of the savages, but there are no wider than a telephone booth, leading to serious concerns about casualties. Obviously, they're also booby trapped, and the environment is virtually pitch black. There is an anti-personnel foam bomb that can be deployed, but the latest plan is simply to flush the terrorists out with seawater. The problem is that it could also ruin the Strip's water system, the Gaza Strip's water system. It could, because there'll be saltwater intrusion. I think we can fix that, though. I think we can send in fresh water for as long as we need to. There's always something, right? Any move Israel makes that could cripple Hamas or deliver a knockout blow is met with condemnation from the international community, many of which remain silent or willfully ignorant of Hamas's war crimes and atrocities carried out on October 7th. Groups supporting women's rights have especially been mum on the mass rape of Israeli women by Hamas terrorists. Hamas can fire rockets into Israel from elementary schools, rape women, behead babies, and set Jewish people on fire, and they get some commendation. Okay, and yet they get some commendation. Still, the world's community actually firepower will be turned on Israel if they flush the tunnels, because the terrorists wouldn't have clean drinking water. People get mad because they wouldn't have clean drinking water. You always supply people with water. Always go in there and supply people with drinking water. I think that flushing those tunnels with seawater is a stroke of genius. Because I'm guessing that in some places the weight of the water will collapse the tunnels as well. I think it's genius. What do you think? Write it down in the comments. All righty, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, I want you to go out there and love someone, learn something, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. Till we see you again, see ya.
What's going on, Tampa? Jeff Dow from JD's Pressure Washing here again, and we wanted to share something really cool with you that we're going to be doing that you can be a part of. Tampa is home to 21,000 veterans. We all love our vets, and being one myself, we wanted to find a way that we could give back. So here's what we're gonna do. For every 10 jobs that we do that are $300 or more, we're gonna do one veteran home for free. Now, when I say home, we're talking house wash, driveway, sidewalks, and perimeter fence if they have one. So I need your help with exposure on this so that we can get the jobs that we need as well as the veteran homes to clean, which is gonna be a total surprise for them. We're gonna show up, knock on the door, and let them know right then and there in the moment what it is that we're gonna be doing for them. It is gonna be pretty cool. And here's a bonus offer for all of you who help us with this. We're also going to offer 15% off all cleaning that's over $300 just to say thanks. So if you could do me a huge favor, like, comment, and share this video so that we can get the word out and start cleaning homes of veterans right here in Tampa.